Hey everyone, Danielle here. I'm doing a partial playthrough of Catharsis Divine Wrath. So this is a one of the latest versions of Catharsis that you can get. I am going to be playing the Undercity Crab, and then my character is Suna Enchantress. I'm not really gonna go into the details of how to play, you're just gonna see the gameplay. This specific boss has treasures, and so with the treasures, you get to choose one from the deck, and I chose Filigreed Golem, and this will basically provide some damage that I could do each round. And then I randomly had to choose another treasure, and this one's called Bejeweled Top. All of them or both of them start at level 1, and I do have extra dice here of my own that will track the levels. So they're both on level 1. Oh, and a special thank you to the designers of the game, Catharsis Divine Wrath, who gave me a bunch of content to cover on my channel. So you might see more videos about this game. All right. I grabbed some dice, and I have 6 powers out for my power deck. Suna has a Thrall deck, which will be able to replace powers during the round. I do start at 24 morale for the Undercity Crab. As I hit these lower numbers in yellow, things will happen or things, will come into effect. And I think we'll just get started. Again, this will be a partial playthrough, but it should give you an idea of how this game plays and whether or not you might like it. There was a special way to create this deck, so I've already followed the instructions for the Undercity Crab boss deck. And so we'll just draw the top of the boss deck up here and start the game. So we are starting off with a trap. It says, the party is suddenly overcome with a deep craving to eat the dirt around them. The craving makes no sense. There's nothing different about the dirt here than in other parts of the tunnels, although you do note that the stone here has seen many fewer creatures walking on it. But you aren't certain if that makes a difference. All you know is that you feel an intense hunger for stone and dirt, and you double over in pain from the feelings, your mouth watering as you shakily grab a small handful and taste it. The dirt tastes like dirt, but right now it's the most delicious food in the world, and you can't stop yourself from eating more. There will be consequences, but you don't care at the moment. Um, so basically, I didn't read the introduction for you, so you can read that on your own if you get the game. But basically, there's going to be, I guess, a lot of um more like a undercity kind of overtaking, I guess. And so that's what we're experiencing here. So the effect says choose one. The first one says you grab a few fistfuls of dirt, and when you later throw up, you would find a few small crystals in the mix. All players take 3 damage, and you can level up 1 treasure. Ooh, 3 damage is rough though. Okay, it says your hunger knows no bounds and you gorge on the stones around you. When the cravings pass, you find that the rock have turned into the large magic crystals that you must pass through one end of your body for the other. All players take 7 damage, level up 1 treasure 3 times, or level up 3 treasures once. You can have up to 3 treasures, so that's a cool one. 7 damage though, I think that's pretty rough. I'm not sure about that. I have to choose one. I'd rather take the 3 damage and level up 1 treasure. So I'll take 3 damage, and I'll take this the damage here. Um, so 7. So this treasure actually has a health of 7, so I'm gonna take it there, and it's gonna go down to 4 because I'm taking 3 damage. And I'm leveling this up by 1, so this is now a level 2. And this says the golem deals 9 damage each round. Okay, so that was the first boss card. Let's move on. Another trap. It says the gods are fickle. Is a common saying amongst the layfolk to represent the vagaries of life. In this case, though, it's not gods, plural, but one particular god who has decided that now is the perfect time to seek some entertainment at your and possibly the city's expense. Apparently, hundreds of thousands of lives, if not millions, and the balance isn't enough of a throw for one god as they briefly trap you in a bubble of time. There are no words, but none are needed as the god simply deposits in your minds what it expects of you. Worse, though, the god seems not to care that their game is rigged, leaving you with pain and hardship, even if you win. It says choose even or odd, then draw a random card from the boss deck discard. Check what type of card it is. If your prediction is correct, all players suffer 2 damage. If your prediction is incorrect, immediately fight a random monster from the discard pile. If there is no monster in the discard pile, lose 2 morale instead. So I think because I only have 1 card in the discard pile right now, it's this 1 trap, so I would have to choose odd. But if I'm wrong, I would have to fight a random monster from the discard pile, which currently doesn't exist, and just lose 2 morale. So I think I'd rather take that than suffer damage. So I'm gonna say even, and I'm gonna take the random card, which is just gonna be the 1 trap. I'm gonna be wrong. There's no monster, so I lose 2 morale. So now I'm down to 22 morale. All right. Next, an event. Very lost merchant. The man before you drags around a cart with a wheel that no longer turns well as it's flat on one side. There's a lantern that's barely holding together, rocking wildly on the top. The cart has been patched and repaired an untold number of times, and the man himself looks slightly deranged, yet also very professional. He's worn ragged, his he's worn ragged, his clothes torn and dirty. It seems like he's tried to clean himself several times using the rather unhygienic waters down this deep. So you make sure to keep some distance as you talk. Welcome. I came down here by accident and then was chased deeper and deeper. The only thing that has kept me alive is that I found that the more intelligent beings are willing to trade, but let me tell you, the treasures that are down here are worth it. I'll return to the surface someday, but for right now, I have quite the inventory I'm building. Perhaps I can offer you a trade? All right, effect. Draw 2 treasures. All right, so let's draw 2 treasures from the treasure deck. And then what else does it say? It says, then choose one. This is too good of an opportunity to pass up. The party gains one of the drawn treasures at level 1, discard the other, or with regret, you pass the deal by. He offers you a small token to incentivize your next visit. The party levels up 1 treasure. Discard the 2 drawn treasures and lose 1 morale as he accidentally positions his cart in your way, trying to tempt you to trade his wares. I think I'll see. I'm not a fan of the spore. The spore and burns. So I think instead I'll probably just discard both of these because the mushroom stalk is all about spores and the burning armor is about burns, and it will eventually be my downfall if I get those too early in the game, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna just discard those and I will lose 1 morale. Just like that. Down to 21. We'll draw the next card. Ooh, our first monster. Morale has to go down at this point. Morale goes down every time you encounter a monster, guardian, or boss. And now that I'm down to 20, it says, if in combat, each player's attacks deal +1 damage this round. So I have to make sure I remember that. So this is a tier 1 monster, octopus. The 8-legged animal before you caught you unawares. It was perfectly camouflaged with the ceiling, and it dropped into your mist. While normally the worst that you might expect from an octopus is that it would annoyingly attach to your skin. This one is larger than your whole party combined, and it swings its legs with focused precision. You would swear that this creature is a trained fighter, especially when you see it change its skin to resemble armor. All right, I'm only playing solo, so the health will be 15. Let me grab a health tracker for that. So I have 15 health tracked for this octopus. And then it says it will deal 8 damage to each player for its attack. A player reduces its damage by 1 for each damage they dealt to this monster. Do not count damage to this monster's armor. And then special. Although its skin looks like armor, it fortunately does not protect nearly as well. Armor 2. So that means it will block 2 damage. Unless I have an ability that blocks armor or goes past armor. All right, so now it's the fun part. So start of the round of this combat, I get to replace any of my powers with thralls. Let me just take a look. I like to do a lot of damage in my games. And I'm going to replace 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they're all going to go to the bottom of the deck. And then I'm going to draw 5 thralls to replace them. You know, a tavern brawler, a sorceress, Nameless Assassin, Fortune Teller, Wandering Ronin. There is a typo there. Okay. These look a little better. I like the Wandering Ronin with the 7 damage, 5 damage. We need to do a total of 15 or else they'll attack us. All right, so let's roll out dice. We get 6 dice and we get to roll it. All right, that is not flat, so let me just re-roll that one. All right, so now we get to do 2 re-rolls if we wanted to. Just taking a look here. To deal 4 damage to an enemy, this attack ignores armor. I need a 1, 2, 3, or a 4, 5, 6. I have a 4, 5, 6 potentially, so let's kind of just set those aside. And then if I wanted to deal damage, this would be a 2, 6, 6. Deal damage is a 1, 3, 4, or 2, 5, 6. And then this one, yeah, I don't think that'll be useful. The flip abilities, take 3, just deal, okay. Yeah, I think I'll focus on 4, 5, 6. All right, so I'll roll the 2 3s. This will be my first reroll. Okay, I have a 6. And then I'll roll 1 more as my last reroll. All right. So I think I'll do this to deal the 4 damage. And then I have a 2, 3, 6, which I don't think ends up doing anything for me. So I'll end up just apologies for the interruption. And then I will not place anything else. This golem will do damage. It'll do 9 damage each round. So I'm going to deal 9 damage to the octopus. So it's going to go down to 6 from 15. And then after that, actually it has 2 armor. So it's going to have 8 health. And then for me, I'm doing 4 damage ignoring armor. So it's going to be down to 4. And I flip over because I'm exhausted, basically. I use that power. I can't use it again. And then now I have to read what the monster says. They are going to do an attack. It says deal 8 damage to each player. A player reduces this damage by 1 for each damage they dealt to this monster. Do not count damage dealt to this monster's armor. Okay, so I did a total of 4 damage. So I take 4 damage myself. So this is going to be 1 damage. And then I'll say 2 damage. Gets discarded. And I'll do 3, 4 for this thrall. And I think that's it, right? Because I prevent 4. And then the golem did a total of 9 minus 2, so 7 damage. And so it only takes 1, so it's down to 3. Okay. So that's how that works. Let's put that right back. And then it is now, again, another combat. Let's I only have 3 powers I could potentially use. All right. 2, 6, 6 is what I need, or 1, 3, 5. I'll keep the 1, 5. Ooh, I need a 3. Let's try to get a 3. That didn't quite work out. I could do the 7 damage, but I could also not do anything because the golem will take it out with 9 damage minus 2, so it's actually dead. It only needed to be hit with 4 damage, so that worked out. So the tier 1 monster is dead. There is no on defeat ability, so that's just that. We get to heal 2. So that's 1 and heal 2 for this. So this is a 5. And then I'm going to just replace the thralls that got discarded with powers at the end of the round. All right. So we'll get to move on here. Event, relics of the church. There are many gods, but not all of them are willing to lend their aid to their followers, much less strangers visiting a shrine hidden in the dark recesses of an underground tunnel. But hopefully the god here is not like the others. Well, maybe if it's one of the less desirable gods, it is. You know, a few universal prayers, and you consider offering one of them. But do you risk the attention of an unknown god? Effect, choose one. You pray sincerely, asking for aid as you continue on your journey. Each player sets aside a die. Regain them after the next combat, then gain a level 1 treasure. You offer a prayer asking for a blessing. The hidden god grants you its gift, but it first extracts a cost. Each player sets aside a die, regain them after the next combat, then level up a treasure. Or you can ignore the shrine like nothing happened. Ooh. I think I will set aside a die and then level up a treasure, and I'll level this filigree golem up to level 3. So now it will deal 12 damage each round. Ooh, a monster. Okay, so now we're down to 19 morale. And ooh, I totally forgot. I knew I would. That my attacks, players' attacks would have done an extra damage each round, but I think the outcome would have been the same. So we need 12 health. And apologies, I had to step away. But yeah, it's got an attack of 2 damage to one player. Increases damage by +1 each round after the first. It says special damage from the rat swarm cannot be prevented. Players who suffer damage from the rat swarm cannot benefit from heal effects other than spending morale. That's terrible. And then on defeat, it says players who took damage from the rat swarm this combat do not refresh 2 powers. That's Yeah, I think we will be fine actually. Um, so let's see. Anything I want to replace here? I'm gonna start the round with replacing a few powers, I think. And don't forget thralls are counted as powers. So I'm gonna grab this and this, put them underneath my player deck, and replace with 2 thralls. Unruly ruffians and towering knight. Okay, armor shred. So armor shred is a keyword that I think I need to look up. So let's double check what that means. And it means permanently decrease the enemy's armor by this amount. So unfortunately, we don't have armor this time. It's just gonna be 12 health, but that's okay. Uh, let's roll for the sake of rolling. Okay. And I don't think I'm gonna waste any of my time here. I'm just gonna use the golem to do 12 damage and complete the attack here. On defeat, nothing happens because we didn't actually get hit. So that was a lucky one. Thank God for this because we weren't, we didn't even have to waste time with what we were doing. So now we could actually refresh heal 2 because we won the battle. And this goes from 5 to 7, which is the max health for this golem. And we have nothing to heal here, so we're good. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, so now it goes down to 18. And this is a tier 1 guardian, Zoea, I think. You aren't sure what to call this thing before you. It vaguely resembles a misshapen infant crab with overly large eyes, an almost insect-like body, and multiple limbs dangling from its floating body. But unlike crabs, this being is huge, and each limb ends in cruel claws. The limbs move erratically, and the claws spasm, making them particularly dangerous to be around as you cannot predict their movement. Whatever this thing is burrowing into the walls of the tunnels here. Given enough time, this thing could severely damage the infrastructure down here, but it's not enough to cause the tremors you felt. Something more exists below. Ooh, 28 health. Ooh, that is scary. Okay, 28 health. And it has special. When a player would take damage from Zoa, roll a die, decrease the damage they receive by the value rolled. Ooh, let's hope I roll 6s. Um, and then it says, if all damage is prevented to a player prior to rolling to reduce damage, place a severed counter on this guardian. For each severed counter, permanently reduce the number of players attacked each round by 1. On defeat, level up a treasure. Ooh, that could be pretty neat. All right, so I think I will probably remove this, replace it with this thrall, and ooh, multi-attack too. That's not going to work out too well because we have to attack 2 different sources with damage, I think. Oops, sorry about that. All right, my son is home, so he's being a little bit loud. All right, let's roll. Ooh, those rolled out, but it should be fine. The 7 damage looks good. So I will do the AABB, which means I have to do a pair of different numbers. And I have 2 6s. I don't think there's much I can do with 2 6s. You know what? I was supposed to, yeah, not roll that die last turn, but that's okay. It didn't matter because the golem actually took care of it. So these 2 dice, guess I'll roll for, you know what? I think I'll do the 6 6 2 2 and I'll put the 1 here. And that should be good. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So the golem's gonna do 12 damage. So 1, 2, down to 16. I'm going to do 7, exhaust this. It's down to 9. And then it says deal 2 damage, then deal 1 damage to the unruly ruffian. So I'm going to do 1 damage here. All right, so 2 damage. 1, 2, down to 7. So unfortunately, it's going to do damage to me, but I get to roll a die to see if it can lower it. 4, so I'll take 3 damage instead. I'll do 1, 2, and then 3. Just flip it over. It actually gets discarded whenever it's taking a damage. Okay. Now we get to roll and hope for the best here. Okay. So just need to do a total of 7 damage. I don't even think I need to apply any dice. I'm gonna have the golem do the damage and take it out. So on defeat, it says level up a treasure. I'm gonna level up this treasure to level 4. It says the golem deals 12 damage and prevents 1 damage each round. Okay, cool. Now we get to heal 2. Gotta replace these at the end of the round. Wait, yeah, I think this was one. A thrall. It would only replace thralls, so all right. I think so. All right, let's draw one more. Ooh, a tier 2 monster. Down 1 more morale. We're at 17. And it says you find that the solid stone and packed dirt is giving way to at first a slightly damp ground with more puddles than you would expect in these tunnels. Then it becomes wet earth that your feet sink into. Finally, it becomes full-blown mud, making your steps much more laborious as you fight the suction. You start to become concerned. This level of mud shouldn't exist in these tunnels, and you get the sense that this is the work of either a monster or an elemental magic gone wrong. In the end, it is both, a mud elemental formed by some mage and then abandoned in these tunnels. Perhaps it was meant to keep the tunnels clear, perhaps it was meant to protect its creator. In either case, it seems to have failed its mission, and now you must fight it to pass. 25 health. And special, at the end of each round, each player puts a die on Mud Elemental. Oh my gosh. Special, at the start of every 4th round, roll all dice on Mud Elemental. For each die that rolls a 1 or a 2, deal 2 damage to the party. Regain those dice and reset this special. I'm not sure what that means. At the start of every 4th round? Okay. And then on defeat, the party sets aside 2 dice of any value. The next round of combat, they cannot be rolled, but they can be used by any player to activate abilities. I'm not sure what the round is. Is it like attack round? Maybe. That could be it. Okay. I think we are set to attack here. Yeah, I think I like the 7 damage always. I know it's kind of boring. I haven't done any flips yet. Um, the flips are helpful if you don't have the die that you need. But I don't think I've really needed it. I could do something like Blinding Rage. Hmm. Or Lash of Fear would be interesting. Maybe I'll reroll these. Hope for 4. 6, 6. Uh, Let me reroll these. 1, 2. Uh, uh, not not the best. But all right. They're gonna do 12 damage. They're at 13. And then I'm gonna do 7 damage, which leaves them at 6. And you know, I've been totally ignoring this treasure, which is at level 1. It says each round, each player must adjust 1 die by 1 after rolling, but before making re-rolls. So I've totally ignored that. You're probably wondering why I haven't done anything with that treasure. Definitely my mistake there, but let's actually just do that moving forward now that I remember. But this was actually the last boss card I'm gonna have in this video. Um, all right, so they're going to attack 1 to each player. So I will just take 1 damage there, 1 damage here because they are considered a player. And what else? Says at the start of every 4th roll, each round puts a die on mud. Okay, I'll put a die on mud. Okay, and then we'll restart, and we should be able to finish with the filigree golem. 1, 3, 4 for the deal 5 damage, and then a 4, 6. Yeah. Honestly, I think, yeah, I'll just do the filigree golem and take it out. And then it says on defeat, the party sets aside 2 dice of any value. The next round, they cannot be rolled, but they can be used by any player to activate abilities. Oh, interesting. So I would be able to just like set, if I needed, two 4s to do Lash of Fear, maybe. That would have been exhausted. We won the battle, but I get to heal. Just gets to heal by 1. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of how you play. I think I definitely got some rules wrong here, but overall, the phases, how the rounds work, I think I represented that well enough for you to make a decision on whether or not this game is for you. I think this is kind of like a very elevated dice throne game because you do have your changing powers. They count as your health. You don't actually have health. Your powers are your health, and you constantly can get new and heal and everything. The variable powers is just so interesting with each of the characters you could choose to play with, which I think makes this game so much fun. And with the replayability of even being able to play multiple characters if you're able to. And obviously all of the content related to the bosses is also very lends itself well to the replayability. All right. Let me know what you guys think of Catharsis, Divine Wrath, or if you've played any other version of Catharsis. I'd love to hear about that. But yeah, I'm gonna end my video here. I hope you're all doing well. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing as I post videos every week. And always open to suggestions on games to check out. So definitely let me know what's been on your table lately. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.